Magandang araw mga kapatid. Sa video na ito, or should I say sa series na ito, tayo po'y gagawa ng commentary at review ng naging debate ko kay Ilusyon, na isang mystic atheist na dating so-called king of logic, na napunta sa pangalang Learn with Sensei Ilu raw, na naging tagawasak na raw ng pananampalataya. So, ang paksa ng aming debate ay ito: did Jesus exist? At gaya ng laging sinasabi, truth matters. It's not about the personalities or the titles. We are talking about evidence, reason, and history. Ating pong susuriin step by step, detailed at syempre mahinahon ang opening statements, rebuttal, cross-examination, even the reflection and yes, conclusion. At ito po ay sisiya sa atin by means of logic, facts, and historical method. Kaya kung ang katotohanan ay nasa panig mo, hindi mo kailangang itago to. Kaya simulan muna natin sa mismong opening statement ni Ilusyon.
Ayan, so before we begin, listen carefully. History is not proven by quote mining. Quotes without justification are meaningless. Evidence must be argued, not parroted. Did Jesus exist? Next. Yeah. So I begin with the words of Dr. Richard Carrier, a trained historian of the Greco-Roman era. Next. Can you go back? Yeah. So extraordinary claims for extraordinary evidence. The evidence for Jesus is lacking, contradictory, and not contemporary. Next. If you believe that the historicity of Papa Jesus is a settled, already established fact, then you're absolutely wrong. Pwede ba po sometime kasi umuuna kasi yung wait lang, kasi may technical dito sa slide ni Sarah. Pwede ba yun?
Ano ba nangyari?
Umuuna kasi yung slide, hindi ko alam kung autoplay or all goods ba tayo, Sarah?
Ano ba
Yes, all goods. Sorry. All
Okay,
goods.
okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So, my fellow atheists would like to accept that Papa Jesus existed, but if we truly care about historical truth, we cannot accept claims without solid grounds. The first question we should ask is not about Papa Jesus, is a real cosmic daddy. It is whether there was historical Jesus at all. Next.
Alright, ngayon tingnan natin. Unang linya pa lang ni Ilu, history is not proven by quote mining. Quotes without justification are meaningless. Mukhang malalim pero agad itong masasabi na self-defeating. Dahil ang historical method mismo ay umaasa sa sources, at ang sources ay teksto at quotations. That's not even quote mining at all. Kung primary at secondary sources ang ginagamit ng tama, katunayan, lahat ng ancient historical records, like yung kay Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and even Socrates, alam natin na sila ay totoo because of the writings. Ngayon, kung tatanggihan ng quotations as evidence, then Ilu, winawasak mo ang buong disiplin ng history. Pangalawa, quoting Carl Sagan and Richard Carrier, yung slogan na extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, classic line, but misapplied. Ang question kasi dyan, ano ba ang claim? Ang topic ng debate namin, did Jesus exist? Hindi, did Jesus walk on water or did Jesus claim to be God? At ang existence ng isang Jewish preacher sa 1st century Palestine, hindi yan extraordinary claim. Ordinaryong claim yon, kaya ordinaryong historical evidence lang kailangan natin. Doon palang guilty na si Ilu sa strawman. Inilapat ang usapin mula existence papunta sa kung si Jesus ay Diyos or whatever. Pangatlo, may sinabi pa siyang ganito: the evidence is lacking, contradictory, and not contemporary. Assertion lang yan, hindi argument. Walang ipinakitang analysis kung paano kulang yung evidence, saan ba yung contradictory, at kumpara kanino, hindi contemporary. My friends, alam namang historiador na walang contemporary writings para sa halos lahat ng ancient figures. Like, wala tayong diary ni Alexander the Great, wala tayong autograph ni Julius Caesar, pero hindi natin sila i-deny. Kaya ang ginawa dito ni Ilu, special pleading ito against Jesus. One more thing, sabi pa niya, if you think the historicity of Jesus is settled, you are absolutely wrong. But that's rhetoric without support. Sa tunay na akademya, hindi po YouTube, hindi po TikTok, over 90% of historians, including atheists, agnostics, and Jews, they believe that there is someone whose name was Jesus of Nazareth who lived on the 1st century. Even Bart Ehrman, na isang skeptic, Malinaw. Jesus certainly exists. Kaya ang nagsasabing not settled ay nasa fringe, hindi po mainstream scholarship. At kung napakinggan niyo po yung buong opening statement ni Ilo, pansinin natin yung ad hominem at mockery na ginawa niya. Merong cosmic daddy, Papa Jesus, you name it. Emotional poisoning of the well ang ginawa niya. Pag kailangan mo ng mangutya, ibig sabihin, ilusyon, mahina ang evidence mo. At ang kasaysayan ay hindi dinadaan sa sarcasm. Kaya walang structured argument dito. Take note, first part pa lang ng opening statement pa to ni Ilo. Diyan pa lang walang structured argument. Purong assertions. May strawman pa nga. May special pleading pa nga. Nag-ad hominem pa tong taong to. So dito pa lang sa first set ng kanyang opening statement, hindi nito na-disprove ang historical Jesus. Katunayan, ipinakita lang nito sa atin kung gaano kahirap ipagtanggol ang mythicism pag sineryoso mo ang history, logic, at evidence. So, let's continue on the second part of his opening statement.
Okay, now, nag-double-click ka, lumampas. There you go, yeah. Now let's hear it directly from Bart Ehrman himself that my opponent cannot stop quoting. Daddy Ehrman said in his book, Jesus Apocalyptic Prophet of the New Millennium, and he wrote in a simplified version. Strange as it sounds, no one mentioned Jesus during his lifetime. There are no birth records, no court documents, no execution, no records, nothing. We also have inscription, letter, and legal documents written on stone and papyrus. Yet in all of this surviving material, Jesus of Nazareth never appears at all. Next. The silence of contemporary historian during the worship lifetime of Papa Jesus is suspiciously problematic. This is what critics called as an argument from silence. Imagine, the greatest man on earth to ever live, who was said to gather crowds, perform public miracles, disrupt the famous Jewish temple, executed by the Roman authority, and talk to the prefect of Judea, Pontius Pilate, privately in person, did not give us any single contemporary evidence that would undoubtedly confirm his historicity. Are you kidding me?
Alright, okay, ginamit ni Ilo si Bart Ehrman na naman, pero dito pa lang, quote mining na agad. Ironically, siya mismo ang nagbabalalaban nito. Ang sinipi ni Ilo ay mula sa libro ni Bart Ehrman na Jesus Apocalyptic Prophet of the New Millennium. Kaso, obviously, tinanggal lamang ni Ilo yung konteksto. Yes, sinabi ni Bart Ehrman na walang contemporary Roman records habang si Jesus ay buhay pa nung 1st century. Pero hindi niya kailanman sinabi o na-conclude na si Jesus ay hindi nag-exist. Walang ganon. Katunayan pa, ulit na sinabi ni Bart Ehrman sa iba pa niyang libro, like yung libro niya na Did Jesus Exist? Jesus certainly existed as virtually every competent scholar agrees. So ano to? Ang ginawa ni Ilo, selective quotations, isang misrepresentation of authority. Pangalawa, yung linya na no birth records, no court documents, no execution records, argument from ignorance yan. Parang sinasabi niyang walang evidence na naiwan, therefore walang taong umiiral. Pero guys, ganito gumagana ang ancient history. Alam mo ba na wala ring birth certificate si Pontius Pilate? Wala ring trial transcript si Socrates? Kahit si Hillel the Elder na isang kilalang Jewish rabbi, walang contemporary records. Pero hindi natin dinedenay ang kanilang existence. Again, it is a special pleading against Jesus. Pangatlo, sabi ni Ilo, the silence of contemporary historians is suspicious. Hindi naman suspicion yun eh. Expected na yan, boy. Si Jesus ay isang probinsyanong Jewish preacher sa isang occupied na rehiyon ng Roman Empire. Hindi po siya senador, hindi po siya general, hindi po siya emperador. And by the way, Rome did not keep daily logs ng mga crucified Jews. Pangkaraniwan ng crucifixion, my friends, hindi headline news. Ang problema kasi dito kay Ilo, ang expectation niya anachronistic. Ibig sabihin, hinihingan niya ng 21st century documentation standards ang 1st century Palestine. One more thing, yung exaggerated na description, yung sabi niya, greatest man on earth, crowds, miracles, temple disruption, kausap si Pilate in person. Ilo, kaya nga buti na lang inalis mo yung pagiging king of logic mo. Peke ka lang eh. Kasi strawman ka na naman. Hindi yan ang claim ng mga historiador tungkol sa historical Jesus. Theological interpretation yan. Ang nangyari, pinaghalo mo ang minimal historical facts at Christian theology, tapos ginamit yon para sabing wala namang evidence. So, mali ang target. And again, may person sinabing, are you kidding me? Mockery is not an argument, my friends. Pag sarcasm ang pumalit sa substance, ad hominem na yan. Hindi scholarship. So, bottom line, my friends, walang historiador na nagsasabing walang contemporary sources sapat para i-deny ang existence ng isang ancient figure. Mas lalong hindi si Bart Ehrman ang kakampi ng mythicism. Kaya kung talagang logic ang usapan, bagsak ang argumentong ito ni ilusyon sa sarili nitong standards. So you don't disprove history by demanding impossible evidence. You must have to follow, or let me say, you follow the evidence that actually survives. Let's go to the other one.
Almost 15 historians during the Christian lifetime of Papa Jesus or a few years after his death have failed to mention Papa Jesus and his cult of Christianity. Next. Yan. Philo of Alexandria, Jewish philosopher, historian of ancient Judea, who wrote more than 40 books and lived during the very period Papa Jesus had lived, did not mention anything about Papa Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. Seneca the Younger, a Roman philosopher, statesman, religious commentator who talks about crucifixion more than anyone else in ancient history, had failed to mention his greatest example. He did not mention anything about Papa Jesus, did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. Pliny the Elder, a Roman author, army commander of the Roman Empire. He wrote extensively about Jewish culture, tradition, and practices. During his lifetime, he would have access to Roman sources, reporting unusual events in Judea. He did not mention anything about Papa Jesus. He did not mention anything about Christianity. Next. So as the rival historian of Josephus, Justus of Tiberias, a Jewish historian from Galilee itself, the very region where Jesus supposedly preached, performed miracles, healed the sick, and gathered disciples, also suspiciously failed to mention Papa Jesus and Christianity at all. Next. Alright, we also have Big Juba, Paterculus, Pampila, Bassus, Rufus, Petronius, Fabius Rusticus, Vespasian, Titus, and Valerius Maximus. They did not mention anything about Papa Jesus. They did not mention anything about Christianity. Next.
Okay, ang pangunahing argument ni Ilo dito ay tinatawag na argument from silence. You see, paulit-ulit niyang sinasabi ito. Hindi binanggit ni ganito, hindi binanggit ni ganyan, hindi binanggit ng ganon. Therefore, si Jesus ay hindi nag-exist. But absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, lalo na sa ancient history. Sige, yamang nagbanggit siya mga names doon. Sige, banggitin na rin natin. First, Philo of Alexandria. Yes, contemporary siya ni Jesus. Pero ano ba ang sinusulat ni Philo? Philosophy, allegorical interpretation of the Torah, Platonic theology. Hindi siya historiador ng Galilean peasants. Wala rin siyang binanggit na mga pangalang tulad ni Hillel, Shammai, o kahit sinong minor Jewish preacher sa Galilee. So, bakit kailangan banggitin niya si Jesus? So, ang expectation ni Ilus yun, arbitrary. Ang sinunod naman na binanggit ni Ilo ay si Seneca the Younger. Seneca the Younger. Yes, binanggit niyang crucifixion, pero bilang punishment. Hindi bilang historical reporting ng bawat crucified individual. And alam ba ninyo kung ilang libo ang ipinako sa krus ng mga Romans? Libo-libo yun. Wala tayong essay ni Seneca tungkol sa the most famous Jew ay crucified. Non-sequitur yun. He talked about crucifixion, therefore dapat banggitin niya si Jesus. Non-sequitur yun, Ilo. So, hindi sumusunod ang conclusion sa premise. Also, binanggit niya si Pliny the Elder. Ito ang mas lalong ironic. Bakit? Dahil ang anak niya si Pliny the Younger, ang unang Roman source na tahasang bumanggit kay Jesus at sa mga Kristiyano noong AD 112. Pero si Pliny the Elder, alam niyo po ba kung anong focus niya? Natural history, geography, zoology, hindi church history, kaya category error na naman. At binanggit ni Ilo si Justus of Tiberias. Ito ang madalas paboritong pangalan ng mga mythicists tulad ni Ilo. Pero may problema. Wala na tayong surviving works ni Justus. Ang alam lang natin ay binanggit siya ni Photius noong 9th century. At kahit doon, hindi malinaw kung saklaw ba ng akda niya ang panahon ni Jesus. So, paano naging proof ang isang akdang wala na? Arguing from missing data na. Tapos, binaton niya ng sunod-sunod na pangalan like Juba, Velelius, Paterculus, Valerius Maximus, Petronius, Titus, Vespasian. Alin sa kanila ang historian ng Jewish apocalyptic movements? Wala eh. Karamihan dyan, Roman elites na nagsusulat tungkol saan? Tungkol sa Roma, emperors, military campaigns. Hindi po tungkol sa isang obscure na rabbi sa occupied province. Ang problema kasi dito ni Ilu, inaasahan niya na ang isang marginal Jew ay dapat banggitin ng mga Roman aristocrats. Pero hindi niya inaasahan ang parehong standard sa ibang historical figures. In short, again, guilty ang taong ito sa special pleading. Also, na-mention yung Alexamenos Graffito. And obviously, tinawanan pa nga niya eh. Tinawanan ni Ilu, obviously. Pero here's the irony na hindi man lamang naisip ni Ilu. Ang graffiti na binabanggit kung saan mayroong cross, may isang nakapako doon na lalaki pero ang kanyang ulo ay ulo ng isang donkey. Anti-Christian yan, oo. Pero inaamin nito na may mga Christians na sumasamba sa isang crucified figure. So, imbes na ni-refute niyang historical Jesus, my friends, ang ginawa lang ni Ilu, an intentional confirmation ito na umiiral na ang paniniwala kay Jesus. Tapos yung analogy niya sa World War II at kay Hitler o Mr. H, false analogy na naman. Si Mr. H ay pinuno ng industrialized nation-state na may mass media, photographs at global documentation. Habang si Jesus, isang first century Jewish preacher sa Roman backwater. So magkaibang historical context. Comparing them is, frankly speaking, historical illiteracy. At dito sinabi ni Ilu na, hindi ko sinasabing lahat ng walang contemporary evidence ay hindi umiiral. Ulitin ko pang sinabi niya, no? Sabi niya, hindi ko sinasabing lahat ng walang contemporary evidence ay hindi umiiral o umiral. Pero teka, di ba yan mismo ang ginawa niya sa buong argument niya? Sabi niya, dahil walang binanggit, suspicious. Dahil walang records, doubtful. Walang archaeology, questionable. So self-contradictory na pala si Ilusyon. At ang pinakamalalang problema, hindi niya hinarap ang positibong ebidensya. Hindi niya sinagot sina Josephus, Tacitus, Pliny the Younger, Lucian, Marabar Serapion, at early creedal traditions within 5 to 10 years of the crucifixion. At ang ginawa lang nito, ay ito yung hindi nagsalta. But history is not built on who stayed silent. It's built on who actually spoke. So the conclusion, wala na namang bumagsak na argument laban sa historical Jesus dito. Ang bumagsak lang ay ang mythicist narrative ni Ilusyon dahil hindi ito sumusunod sa parehong standards na ginagamit sa ibang historical figures. Now guys, if Jesus did not exist, Christianity would be the only movement in history that exploded without a founder. And that's far more miraculous than the resurrection itself. Now, let's go to another one.
Sir Ruel, in his recent year-end photos with tragically only one like, has the hyper audacity to say that historians do not use mathematical methods in proving history. I called him out on the comment section. He was unfortunately uneducated about Bayesian theorem. Next. Yeah, there you go. Alright, the good thing about Bayes' theorem is that it's evidence-based. When new evidence emerged, the probability updates either for or against the subject. Bayes' theorem has already proven its reliability when the Allies used it to crack enemy codes during World War II. Next. Alright, in his 2014 peer-reviewed book on the historicity of Jesus' mind, this is a peer-reviewed book. Dr. Carrier used Bayes' theorem to arrive at the probability that there was not a historical Jesus. The result is 1:3, or in layman's term, 30 to 33%. Next. The probability percentage is so low that historical Jesus can be tied and equated with Socrates. Even today, Greek historians doubt the existence of Socrates. He might have been a creation of Plato, just like how historical Papa Jesus was the creation of New Testament authors. Next. The harsh reality for Christian apologists is that there's no evidence supporting Papa Jesus' historicity. Excavations for decades continue, yet no new findings have appeared. Next. This made...
Alright, ayun, nabanggit na natin. For me, ito na ang pinaka-personal at pinaka-revealing na bahagi ng opening statement ni Ilusyon. Dahil dito lumabas na ang totoong target, Hindi na lang si Jesus Christ, kundi ako mismo. Pati yung credibility ng mga ng mainstream scholarship. Yikes. Alam niyo kasi guys, unahin natin agad yung Bayes theorem. Illusion proudly claims na historians do not use mathematical methods. Maling pahayag yun, boy. Tapos pinagmamalaki ni Ilu yung paggamit ni Richard Carrier ng Bayes theorem. Pero itong tanong na iniiwasan ng taong ito. Do mainstream historians actually use Bayes theorem to determine historicity? Hindi po. They don't use Bayes theorem to determine historicity. Hindi po dahil mangmang ang mga historiador, kundi dahil ang kasaysayan ay hindi closed mathematical system. History is not a closed mathematical system, my friends. Bayes theorem requires clearly defined prior probabilities. Doon pa lang bagsak na si Richard Carrier. Like, sinong nagset ng priors? Para saan? Objective ba o ideologically loaded? At ang sagot, si Carrier mismo. So, ang ginawa niya, nag-assign ng subjective numbers, pinadaan sa formula, tapos ginawa mo kang scientific. If you put garbage in it, if you put garbage in, you'll get garbage out. No matter how fancy the math is. Now, how about the World War II code breaking? False analogy na naman. Cryptography deals with repeatable patterns and fixed variables. History deals with unique, non-repeatable past events. So, hindi mo pwedeng i-equate ang cracking enemy codes sa pag-aaral ng first century Judaism. So, category error ulit. Ngayon, yung sinasabi niyang 30 to 33% chance that Jesus did not exist, una, even Carrier himself admits Jesus could have existed. Game over? Hindi. Pangalawa, Carrier is an extreme outlier. Outlier, yung outlier. Hindi siya representante ng historical scholarship. Ang kanyang posisyon ay fringe. And here's irony. Inuupakan ni Ilu ang appeal to consensus pero umaasa siya sa isang isolated scholar. Pambihira. One more thing. Socrates comparison. Ito'y paulit-ulit na Metis's talking point. Kaso maling-mali. Una, sa lahat. Wala tayong writings ni Socrates pero may multiple independent sources like Plato, Xenophon, and Aristophanes. At syempre, may hostile source like Aristophanes mocking him. And guess what? Meron din ganyan si Jesus, si Apostle Paul, si Josephus, Tacitus, Lucian. Now, if you will deny Jesus here, mas lalo mo dapat i-deny si Socrates, which is self-destructing argument. And eto na tayo. Pinersonal na ako sa debate, which is ironically, I don't know doon sa mismong moderator ng debate namin last time. Ewan ko kung bakit hindi yun pinuna. Buti na lang yung tatlong adjudicators, especially Brother Tommy and Sir Michael or Sir Caillou, napuna nila itong ginawa ni Ilu. Anong ibig ko sabihin? Tinawag ako ni Ilusyon na arrogante, misinformed at sabi, paroting apologist. Ad hominem yan. Hindi nito sinasagot ang arguments, he was already attacking me. At pag ang argument mo, kailangan ng sabay ng insulto, isa lang ibig sabihin doon, ilusyon, mahina talaga ang posisyon mo. Then comes the attack on Gary Habermas. So, ano yung akusasyon ni Ilusyon kay Gary Habermas? Tinago raw yung data. Itinago daw yung data. Which is very serious but no evidence. Ilo, kung nakikinig ka, itong hamon ko sa'yo. Bukod sa mga pinakita mo noon sa PowerPoint mo, nasaan yung sinasabi mong itinago raw? Challenge ko sa'yo yan, ha? Kasi, Fact check tayo. Habermas's surveys are methodological reviews. Hindi yan secret conspiracies. At kahit tanggalin mo si Habermas sa eksena, makinig kang mabuti, boy. Hindi doon nakasalalay ang historicity ni Jesus. Dahil ang consensus ay hindi imbento ng isang tao. Makikita nga po ito sa mga naging research ng mga sumusunod mula kay Bart Ehrman, A.P. Sanders, Paula Fredrickson, Geza Burmese at Maurice Casey. Yung mga yan, hindi sila Christian apologists. And by the way, yung linyang biblical studies are dominated by Christians, kalahating katotohanan pero sinungaling. Bakit? Oo, may mga Kristiyano. Pero, listen, methodology, peer review, at academic standards ang sinusunod. Excuse me. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-publish ng historical claim na Jesus did not exist nang walang matibay na ebidensya. Kaya nga nasa fringe lang mythicism. At yung ginagawa niyang pagtawa sa appeal to consensus, i-clarify natin, no? Consensus is not proof. Ebidensya yan. Especially when scholars agree on theology, but, ang ibig kong sabihin, especially when scholars disagree on theology but agree on existence. Hindi yan bias. Yan ay convergence of independent judgment. So, anong lumalabas dito sa naging presentation dito ni Ilo sa parting ito ng opening statement? Misuse of base theorem, false analogy, appeal to fringe authority, strawman of consensus, ad hominem attacks, and conspiracy insinuations. So, sorry to Ilusyon, hindi nito pinabulaanan ang historical Jesus. Sa halip, ang ipinakita niya sa atin kung gaano kahina ang mythicist case kapag hinarap ng real historical method.
Next. Historians use various criteria of authenticity to argue for Papa Jesus' historicity. We will focus on the two most commonly cited by apologists. First criteria, multiple attestation. The more independent references to an event, the more likely it happened. My opponent cannot simply appeal to the four Gospels as evidence for historical Jesus for plenty of reason. Next. First, the Gospels are undeniably anonymous, full stop. Anyone who says that they are not is either googling on Christian.com website or followers of the cult of Ron Wyatt. We do not know about them. In fact, the first person to explicitly name the Gospels was Church Father Irenaeus around 185 AD, after decades of circulation. Irenaeus said in his book Against the Heresies that because there are four corners of the world, there must also be four writers of the Gospel. What kind of reason is this? Next. Next. More importantly, our early surviving gospel manuscripts such as Papyrus 1 and Papyrus 75 contains no title at all. They do not say gospel according to, or in Greek, Evangelion Kata. The name came later and the text came first. So why am I using the gospel? Because as you can see, in the opening statement of Sir Well, nag-rely siya sa mga stories na nasa gospel. Right? Yung kwento ng mga disipulo na katawa. So I have to show you that the gospels are not reliable kasi doon naka-base yung presentation ni Sir Well sa mga stories.
Okay. Ito na naman tayo. Papasok tayo sa History 101. Dito rin makikita kung gaano kalaki ang leap ng argument ni Ilusyon mula sa critical scholarship papunta sa overconfident conspiracy thinking. What do we mean? Una, yung criteria of multiple attestation. Tama si Ilo sa definition. The more independent sources, the stronger the case. Pero ang problema, mali ang kanyang application. Bakit? Sabi ni Ilo, you cannot appeal to the four Gospels because they're anonymous and independent. Convincing yan until you actually understand how historians use the Gospels. Oo, anonymous ang Gospels, walang seryosong scholars na nagde-deny dun. Pero, anonymous does not mean unreliable. Alam po ba ninyo na maraming ancient historical works ay anonymous? What do we mean? Epic of Gilgamesh? Anonymous. Greco-Roman biographies? Anonymous din. Historians judge text by date, proximity, internal consistency, external corroboration, and transmission. Hindi kung may pirma sa dulo. Paano naman yung banat ng taong to kay Irenaeus? Four corners of the world, therefore four gospels, ganyan. Strawman na naman si Ilo. Oo nga, symbolic ang language ni Irenaeus pero hindi yung basis ng authorship attribution. At bago pa si Irenaeus, si Papias, early 2nd century, he attributed Mark to Peter and Matthew in Hebrew sayings. At may unbroken manuscript tradition na consistent ang titles, walang ibang pangalan na lumitaw. So, kung fabricated ang authorship, nasaan ang competing names? Wala po. Now, tungkol sa manuscripts without titles like P52, P66, P75, oo nga naman wala silang titles. Pero, alam ba ninyo kung bakit? Scrolls and early codices often had titles on the outside, which don't survive. At ang mas mahalaga, walang manuskrito na may maling title. Kung huli lang inimbento ang mga pangalan, dapat may chaos sa transmission. Pero wala. Wala talaga. Next, yung claim niya na the Gospels rely on each other, therefore they are not independent. Kalahating katotohanan naman, pero kasinungalingan na naman sa parte ni Ilo. Yes, may Markan priority, pero independence is not it is not binary. What do we mean? Matthew and Luke share Mark, but they also contain unique material, independent traditions, and different theological emphasis. And don't forget, John is largely independent of the synoptics kahit late ito. So, hindi po useless porket late. And by the way, Tacitus wrote decades after Tiberius, pero reliable pa rin, di ba? And how about yung sinasabi ng taong ito na plagiarize? Anachronistic yan, Ilo. In ancient historiography, using sources is standard practice. Hindi yan pandaraya. Hindi yan cheating. Si Thucydides, si Josephus, lahat gumagamit ng sources. At alam niyo po ba kung anong yung pinakamalaking leap dito kay Ilo sa kanyang arguments? Yung sinabi niyang, therefore the Gospels are entirely fabricated except names and places, which is non sequitur. Dependence does not equal invention, and theological intent does not cancel historical core. Puntahan naman ngayon yung sinasabing specific claims of fabrication daw. Una, massacre of the innocents. Ang argument, Matthew invented it to fulfill Hosea chapter 11 verse 1. Pero typology yun. Typology ang Hosea 11 verse 1. Hindi yun prophecy. Matthew is using Jewish interpretative method, not inventing history. And concerning the silence of Josephus, Josephus did not record many atrocities of Herod, including some far worse. Now, how about yung census in Luke? Debated man, oo, but difficult does not mean fabricated. Katunayan, there are plausible harmonizations. Kasama na dyan yung multiple censuses and administrative enrollment. Kaya yung historical difficulty, hindi yan historical falsehood. Ngayon, how about John's crucifixion timing? Yung crucifixion timing? Theological framing yun, hindi contradiction. Historians recognize theological interpretation layered onto real events. Standard yan sa ancient biographies. Paano naman yung kay Barabbas? Ang claim ni Ilo, fictional scapegoat ritual daw. Pero here's the problem na hindi man lamang tinignan ni Ilo. Barabbas fits known Roman practices of prisoner release during festivals. And the name Jesus Barabbas appears in early manuscripts, which actually makes the story more embarrassing, not less. So, criteria of embarrassment actually supports authenticity. And at this point, maging klaro po tayo dito mga kapatid. Ilo has confused theological shaping with historical invention. All ancient biographies do theology. Plutarch does moral philosophy. Tacitus has political bias. Yet historians still extract historical core. Pansin niyo yung rhetoric na pinagsasabi ni Ilo sa parting niya ng opening statement niya. Freaking anonymous, fabricated, nagkopyahan dang. Emotional language yan, boy. Emotional language meant to overwhelm, not persuade. So, bottom line, anonymity is not unreliability. Dependence is not fabrication. Theology is not myth. And difficulty is not falsehood. The Gospels pass multiple criteria of authenticity like multiple attestation, embarrassment, enemy attestation, and early creedal material. Kaya, if the Gospels were pure fiction, they would be the worst propaganda documents ever written, full of fear, doubt, failure, and women discovering the empty tomb. Okay, let's go to another one.
Paul never mentioned Mary or Joseph. Paul never mentioned Pilate's trial. Paul never mentioned miracles and exorcism, parables and sermons of Jesus. This show that Paul was truly uninformed about the life and deeds of historical Jesus, and therefore cannot serve as a reliable basis for establishing Jesus' historicity. In fact, a growing number of scholars are challenging the mainstream view that Paul ever existed. In her 2025 peer-reviewed book published by Cambridge University, Nina Devesey argued that the existence of historical Paul and the authenticity of his letters are largely taken for granted. She dates the Pauline letters to around 140 AD. This aligns with the research of J.M. Wingo and Matthew Brick presented in the recent book Christ Before Jesus, which concludes that Paul did not exist, and so that the so-called Pauline letters were actually written by Marcion himself around 140 AD. They are not the first one to make such claims. Thomas Moody, a biblical scholar and a former Dominican priest who was expelled from his religious order for concluding that both Jesus and Paul are fictional. This made me remember when the early church father Tertullian famously asked Marcion for the origin of Paul, demanding proof of false authenticity. Second criteria is the criteria of embarrassment. First, this criteria is pure BS for the fact that Christianity is a religion that does not reward heroes but the poor and oppressed. What is embarrassing for others might be a literary device for the gospel writer. Second, given the diversity of Jewish religion and early Christianity, it can be assumed that the gospel authors would find the event or teaching in question to be embarrassing. As New Testament scholar Stanley Porter explained, it's very difficult to determine what early Christians would have found embarrassing given the lack of detailed evidence about the views of the early church. As you can see, the criteria for Jesus' historicity are often not met, are riddled with loopholes. As religious historian Dr. Raphael Lancaster, author of the peer-reviewed Questioning the Historicity of Jesus, bluntly puts it, there is no good reason to believe Jesus existed. The case for historicity is based largely on assumption and circular reasoning. Tulad ng ginawa ni Sir Ruel sa kanyang opening statement. Time.
So, ito na yung closing analysis ng opening statement ni Ilusyon. At dito natin makikita kung talaga bang na-debunk niya ang historical Jesus o kung rhetorical lang ang bumagsak. Una, na-mention yung mga liham ni Apostle Paul. Sabi kasi ni Ilu, Paul talks little about the historical Jesus. Tama, kaunti, pero hindi naman zero. At sa kasaysayan, quality matters more than quantity. Bakit? Ngayon, Ilu, makinig kang mabuti habang minimension ko yung mga Bible verse para naman magbasa ka namang mabuti. Paul explicitly states the following. In Galatians chapter 4 verse 4, Jesus was born of a woman. In Galatians chapter 4 verse 4 and Romans 9 verse 5, Jesus is a Jew. In 1 Corinthians 9 verse 5 and Galatians 1 verse 19, Jesus had brothers including James. In 1 Corinthians 15, Jesus had disciples. In 1 Corinthians 11, Jesus instituted the Last Supper. In 1 Corinthians 2 verse 8, Jesus was crucified under earthly authorities. And in 1 Corinthians 15 verses 3 to 8, Jesus was buried and raised to life. So, yung argument ni Ilo na hindi niya binanggit ang Nazareth, Mary, Joseph, miracles. Argument from silence na naman. Paul wrote occasional letters, hindi biography. Hindi rin binanggit ni Paul ang birthplace ni Peter. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, hindi niya alam. And yung sinabing Paul did not meet Jesus in person, so what? Hindi rin nakilala ni Tacitus si Tiberius, pero reliable pa rin siya. At oo nga pala, Mr. Ilusyon, ang mapagpanggap na tagawasak daw ng Christianity. Alam mo ba, sa Galatians 1 and 2, Paul personally met Peter, James, and John, who were the eyewitnesses. That's direct contact. Historical contact. And concerning to the empty tomb, Paul mentions burial and resurrection, which implies an empty tomb in a Jewish context. At ang creed sa 1 Corinthians 15, it was dated within 5 years of the crucifixion. That's extremely early by ancient standards. Ito yung radical claim na nabanggit nga ni Ilu. Paul may not have existed. Hindi raw nag-exist si Apostle Paul. This is where the argument derails completely. Bakit? Guys, the scholars cited like Nina Livesey, Wingo Brody, extreme fringe yan. Hindi lang fringe. They contradict overwhelming manuscript, patristic, and historical evidence. Mga kapatid, we have multiple early manuscripts. Meron po tayong early church fathers quoting Paul extensively and hostile sources acknowledging the Apostle Paul. So saying Paul did not exist is like saying Plato did not exist. Hyperskepticism na yan, mga kapatid. Ngayon yung pagbanggit kay Tertullian at Marcion, napaka-ironic. It proves that Paul existed. Ilu, hindi ka magdedebate tungkol sa authenticity ng isang taong hindi naman umiiral. At concerning criteria of embarrassment na tinawag niyang pure BS. Pero alam mo ba, boy, embarrassment is not about modern feelings. It's about counterproductive details and context. Examples. A crucified Messiah. Ito'y iskandalo sa mga Hudyo at should I say kamangmangan sa mga Griego. Women discovering the empty tomb, low status witnesses sa mga yan. Disciples running away when Jesus had been taken captive, and Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Hindi yan propaganda material, boy. At yung claim na we don't know what early Christians found embarrassing, false na naman. We know Jewish messianic expectations, and crucifixion fails them completely. And lastly, yung final citation of Raphael Lataster, fringe din yun. Ilu repeatedly attacks consensus but relies on minority positions, which is very inconsistent. So, let's answer the big question. Did Illusion debunk the historical Jesus? No. Not even close. What he did was attack sources using impossible standards, dismiss evidence via argument from silence, replace consensus with fringy skepticism, use ad hominem and mockery, and conflate theology with history. Illusion did not present a positive case that Jesus did not exist. He only tried to lower confidence by raising doubts, most of which apply to all of ancient history. So at the end of the day, my friends, you don't erase a historical figure by nitpicking sources. You do it by explaining them away. And Illusion never did that. Christianity did not begin with a myth. It began with a man in a place at a time who was crucified, and history remembers him no matter how hard one tries to deny it. Diyan pa lang sa opening statement ni Ilu, ang dami ng butas. Paano pa kayang rebuttal niya?